We worked on this packet yesterday, and this is where we left off. Which number rounds to 12 6/10 when rounded to the nearest tenths place? So if we take 12 6/100 and round it to the nearest tenths place, this 6 tells that 0 to go up 1, digits to the right change to 0, and all the other numbers stay the same. So that was 12 1/10. That's not it. 12 5400 rounded to the nearest tenths place. This 4 tells my circle to stay the same. Digits to the right change to 0, and all the other numbers stay the same. So that's 12 5/10, not what I'm looking for. 12 5600 rounded to the nearest tenths place. This 6 tells my circle to go up 1. Digits to the right change to 0, and all the other numbers stay the same. That did round to 12 6/10, but I'm going to check this last one just to be sure that's my answer. 12 6500 rounded to the nearest tenths place. This 5 tells my circle to go up 1. Digits to the right change to 0, and all the other numbers stay the same, which means that rounded to 12 7/10, and this one did round to 12 6/10. So C was our correct answer. Moving on to the back, or to the next page. Find the product. Product means multiply. So we're going to multiply 862 times 79. We're going to take our ones place and multiply it by everything on top, and then do the same with our tens place. So 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 6 is 54, plus 1 more is 55. Don't forget to add in your regroupings. 9 times 8 is 72, plus 5 more is 77. When we scoot over to our tens digit, we put a 0 so that we will write our answer in the tens place. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 1 more is 43. 7 times 8 is 56, plus 4 more is 60. These are our partial products, and we add them together. 8, 9, 10. 8, 9, 10. 8, 6. So that is 68,098, which is letter choice D. We have another multiplication problem. 602 times 53. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 0 is 0. And 3 times 6 is 18. When we scoot over to our tens digit, we put down a 0. 5 times 2 is 10. I did not that's a 0 from my placeholder. I have to put down another 0 because 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 1 more is 1. And 5 times 6 is 30. We add our partial products together. 6, 0, 9, 1, 3. 31,906, which was letter choice C. Camille multiplied the numbers 245 and 123. Her work is shown below. Which step shows where Carmela made her first mistake? We need to work it out to compare our work to her work to see where the mistake was. So we're going to take 245, multiply it by 123. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 more is 13. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. That was step 1. We're going to put a 0 as our placeholder when we go to our tens digit. 2 times 5 is 10. We have to put down a 0 and carry our 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 more is 9. 2 times 2 is 4. That was step 2. We're going to our hundreds place. We're going to put down 2 zeros. 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 4 is 4, and 1 times 2 is 2. That was step 3. And then we're going to add our partial products. 5 3, 16, 21, 8, 9, 10, 3. And this was step 4. So if we compare our step 1s, we both got 735. If we compare our step 2s, we both got 4,900. If we compare our step 3s, we both got 24,500. If we compare our step 4s, we did not get the same thing. They got 28,135 and we got 30,135. They forgot to add in their regroupings when they added their thousands place. So step 4 is where the mistake was made. A college football stadium has 12,084 seats. There are 19 sections in the stadium with the same number of seats in each section. For each equation, determine whether or not it can be used to find the number of seats, S, in each section of the stadium. Select one bubble in each row. This can be a very confusing question. What you should always do first is not look at the answer choices and set up or work it out how you think it should be worked out. So a college stadium has this many seats and there are 19 sections with the same number of seats in each section. Same number in each section. That to me sounds like a division problem. They have this many seats and they want to cut it up into this many groups or sections. So they're going to take 12,084 and they're going to divide it by 19. When they divide it by 19, they're going to get the number of seats in each section, which they're telling us here that that's going to be represented by S. We don't actually have to work it out, but we're going to represent that by S. Whether the number is 100, 426, it doesn't matter. We're going to represent that by S. And I know that can be confusing at times because you guys typically don't like to use letters when you're doing math. All right, so if we look at our answer choices, which one says 12,084 divided by 19 is going to equal S? Well, this last one here says that. So that's going to be a yes. Does that mean the rest of our answers are all no's? No, that's not what that means actually. So this one here is multiplying 12,084 times S. Is that a correct answer? No. This one here is multiplying 19 times S to get 12,084. If I was going to check this problem, wouldn't I multiply S by 19 to see if I got my dividend? Yes, I would. So this is another correct answer because this is a way to check this. These two problems here are inverses of each other. This is the problem and this is the way to check the problem. So both of those are ways to work this out. All right, let's look at this one. S divided by 19 equals 12,084. Is that a way to check this problem? No. That is a completely different way. So those were the two that you would be able to use to solve this. The next one, select the box in each row to identify each equation as true or false. In order to identify these as true or false, we're going to have to work them out. So we have 1,817 divided by 79, and we're going to see if this is going to equal 203. First of all, will 79 go into 1? No, it won't. Will 79 go into 18? No, it won't. Will 79 go into 181? Yes, it will. How many times? 2. 2 times 79? 158. We subtract. That's 3. That's 2. 23. We bring down our 7. Now, I can actually stop right there. I could keep going, but I'm going to stop right there because I'm going to work smarter, not harder. They're telling me the answer is going to be 203. Yes, my answer starts with a 2. But is it going to be 200 anything? No. It's going to be 20-something because I'm in the tens place. I couldn't put an answer here in the hundreds place. So I already know that this answer is going to be false. All right, we're going to look at 2,976 divided by 48, and we're going to see if that equals 62. Will 48 go into 2? No, it won't. Will 48 go into 29? No, it won't. Will 48 go into 297? Yes, it will. We're going to have to list some multiples to see how many times. This could be a correct answer, but maybe, maybe not. I know it's going to be in the tens place, just like their answer's in the tens place. Not like this answer, where my answer was in the tens place and they had an answer in the hundreds place. So let's list some multiples. 48 plus 48 is 96. 96 plus 48, 144. 144 plus 48 is 192. 192 plus 48 is 240. Plus 48 is 288. Plus 48 is 336. And that would be enough multiples. I want to get as close to 297 without going over. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 multiple. 6 times 48 is 288. I subtract, and I get 96 when I bring down my 6. How many times will 48 go into 96? 2 times. 2 times 48 is 96. So 2,976 divided by 48 is 62. That was a true answer. 6,300 divided by 38, and they're telling me that this answer should be 165. Will 38 go into 6? No, it will not. Will 38 go into 63? Yes, it will. How many times? Only once. 63 minus 38, 13, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5, and 2. Bring down our 0. So I know it's going to be 100 something, so this could be a correct answer, but I'm going to work it all out. So I'm going to list my multiples to see how many times 38 will go into 250. 38 plus 38 is 76. Plus 38 is 114. Plus 38 is 152. Plus 38 is 190. Plus 38 is 228. Plus 38 is 266. And that's enough. So how many times will 38 go into 250? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 38 is 228. I'm going to subtract and get 22, bring down my 0. How many times will 38 go into 220? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 38 is 190. Looky there, I got 165 just like they said I would. So does that mean this answer is true? No. This answer is not true. Because if I subtract here, I have a remainder of 30. They said the answer was 165. The answer is not 165. The answer is 165 remainder 30. So this is false. Miss Barrington has a total of 384 students. Each of her 12 classes have an equal number of students. Equal number. How many students are in each class? Each is one of those words that sometimes means multiply and sometimes means divide. Because we are talking about an equal number of students in each class, this is going to be a division problem. We're going to take her total, 384, and we're going to divide it by 12. 12 goes into 38 3 times. 2 left over. We bring down our 4. 12 goes into 24 2 times. No remainders. So she has 32 students, which was answer choice B. The local middle school has 2,928 students. The principal wants students in groups of 24 for an assembly. How many groups of students will there be? We want groups of something. We have a big chunk and we want to put them in smaller chunks. That's division. 2,928 divided by 24. 24 won't go into 2, but it will go into 29 one time. We subtract and get 5. We bring down our 2. 24 goes into 52 2 times. 2 times 24 is 48. We subtract and get 4. Bring down our 8. 24 goes into 48 2 times. 2 times 24 is 48 with nothing left over. So there will be 122 groups. Which statement below best describes how to simplify the expression 4 and 22 hundredths divided by 7 and divided by 75 hundredths? So if we were going to do 4 and 25 hundredths divided by 75 hundredths, what is the first thing we would do? The first thing we would do would be to take this decimal and move it over 2 times, and then take this decimal and move it over 2 times, and bring it straight up. So now that we know that, let's look at our answer choices. Add 25 hundredths to the dividend and the divisor. Do we ever do that? Do we add at all when we're doing division? No, never add. Multiply both the dividend and the divisor. This is the dividend, this is the dividend, this is the divisor, by 10, then divide like you would if you had whole numbers. Well, when we move this decimal one time, that is multiplying by 10 because my number is getting bigger by 1 place value. But I didn't just move it one time, I moved it 2 times. So I'm not really multiplying by 10. That is not a correct answer. Multiply both the dividend and the divisor, by 100, then divide like you would if you had whole numbers. When I move this decimal over once, that's like multiplying by 100. When I move this decimal over once, that's like multiplying by 10. And when I move this decimal over a second time, that's like multiplying by 100. So I did multiply my divisor and dividend by 100. So I think this is the correct answer, but let me check D just to be sure. Multiply the dividend by 10, multiply the divisor by 100. Do I do different things to my dividend and divisor? No, I do the same thing to them. So yes, C was our correct answer. Jesse had 3 water bottles that hold different amounts of water. He had a total of 1 3500 liters of water. Which expression represents the amount of water Jesse had? So we're looking for which of these adds up to be 1 3500. So we're going to add them all up. On A, we have 1 liter, we have 35 hundredths of a liter, and we have 5 hundredths of a liter. If I add these up, that's 10, 4, 1, and 40 hundredths. That's not what I'm looking for. Letter B, we have 95 hundredths, 40 hundredths, and 30 hundredths. If I add these up, I get 5, 13, 16, 1, and 65 hundredths. That is not what I'm looking for. Letter C, I have 1, 20 hundredths, and 15 hundredths. If I add these up, I get 5, 3, 1 and 35 hundredths. Ooh, I think this is what I'm looking for, but I'm going to check D just to be sure. 50 hundredths, 5 hundredths, and 70 hundredths. 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1 and 25 hundredths. That's not it. Letter C was correct. And our last problem. Which expanded form is the difference of the expression shown? So before I can look at these expanded forms, I first need to know the difference in this problem. So I am going to subtract 142 and 1/10 minus 9 and 39/100. It is very important that you line up your decimals and your place values. If not, you would get this question wrong. We put a 0 in our empty place and we regroup because we cannot take 9 away from 0. So this is a 0 and this is a 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. I can't take 3 away from 0, so I'm going to regroup. This is a 1 and this is a 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. Put my decimal. I can't say 1 minus 9, so I'm going to regroup. This is 3. This is 11. 11 minus 9 is 2. 3 minus nothing is 3. 1 minus nothing is 1. So I have 132 and 71/100. I need this in expanded form. So I have a 1 in the hundreds place. 1 in the hundreds place, 1 in the hundreds place, 1 in the hundreds place, 1 in the hundreds place. Okay, they all had that. 3 in the tens place. 3 in the tens place, 3 in the tens place. No, not a 3 in the tens place, not a 3 in the tens place. 2 in the ones place. Now, I don't need to check these at all. Boop, I already eliminated those because they didn't have the right number in the tens place. A 2 in the ones place. 2 in the ones place, 2 in the ones place. A 7 in the tens place. This has an 8 in the tens place, and this has a 7 in the tens place. It also has a 1 in the hundreds place. So letter B was our correct answer. Make sure you have showed me all of your work and email me if you have any questions.